Hi, welcome to BW. Congratulations on winning the award.
Thank you so much.
So, how are you feeling about the award?
Oh,
About
it's
this?
always great to be recognized. We have been in the market for 4 years. Finally in the last 6, 12 months, a lot of interest around the brand is starting to develop. So it's always kind when, folks like yourself come and try to encourage us to work harder. Yeah. So thank you so much.
So, as we talk about D2C brands, it's always been a market, a more marketing driven, a more cash burning verticals. Marketing has always been a cash burning vertical for D2C brands.
Yeah.
So, how do you look at it? What you want to suggest to the emerging D2C brands to cut down on the marketing spends?
Yeah. See, uh, you have to be realistic. In the beginning, burning money is part and parcel even for an ITC or HUL when they are launching a new brand, right? At the same time, though, what I would suggest to up and coming D2C founders is find niches, find sort of opportunities where it makes sense to exist in. I'll give you an example. For Bold Care, we exist in the men's sexual health category. Now, this is not an extremely competitive category where there are 50 people trying to nibble at my feet as soon as I take one step away from the pedal, right? So here, it makes a lot more sense to spend money in the beginning and make the brand slightly bigger and then try to start stabilizing it. So for me, let's say the retention rates are 60-70%. Now, at that high retention rates, and let's say now that I've built a 1.5, 1.8 million orders customer base, it makes a lot of sense to try to, so for us to become profitable, it is not that hard of a journey. We have done it twice in our history in the last 4 years, where for a quarter or so we would be completely profitable just because we needed to test it out. That can we do it, right? How much does the revenue sort of normalize? So yeah, part and parcel. If you're in an extremely competitive field, वो उतना ही hard हो जाएगा profitable होना. But I would recommend folks to find opportunities where it makes sense to be online, not extremely competitive, yet an opportunity that is interesting enough to solve.
In Bold Care's case, the high retention rate, high loyal brand loyalty of customers are one of the key factors that led you to the growth and profitability as well. So, what do you think? What played in your what were one of the things you did which played in favor of this?
So, दो चीजें I'll add. Number one, not profitable right now. We have been at points in the journey when we wanted to be. Right now, we are trying to sort of scale up fairly aggressively. Obviously, you've seen the campaign. You might have seen the campaigns that went live 2-3 months back. One went live last month itself. So yeah, मतलब वो अभी profitable तो है नहीं, but we have been profitable in the past. See, दो तीन चीजें थी हमारे लिए that has worked. It's very simple. I think if you focus on the product and make sure in our category, it's a trust deficit category. Yeah, products जब आप बताते customer कि यार I'm trying to solve a sexual health issue for you, and you give them the product and it doesn't work for them, that becomes sort of part and parcel of the ecosystem. For us, what was important was really trustworthy solutions, really high quality solutions, and that is what helped us. If I go to a customer and with 95-97% efficacy rate solve a problem for them with a product priced at 300 or 400, they start loving the brand, right? And that is what has worked very well in our case. I'll add just one more thing, just purely in terms of data, you're right, brand love is really strong with Bold Care right now. अगर आप online देखोगे, we are the #1 sexual health brand when it comes to problems like PE, premature ejaculation, ED, erectile dysfunction. We are the #1 brand in the country. But even for something as competitive as condoms and lubes, at least online India, we are the #2 brand. For more, we sell more condoms and lubes than most legacy companies that you have been hearing their name for the last 2, 3, 5, 6 decades. We sell more condoms and lubes than them right now. So yes, getting a lot of appreciation from the customers, a lot of love. They end up sticking around. So always, thankful. Yeah.
As far as D2C space is concerned, it's always been a play about the marketplaces, be it Amazon or Flipkart or Giants or be it your own site. So how do you compete with the giants, and what are your tactics to let make the customers buy your products in next purchases from your site only?
See, for us, we don't want, it doesn't matter to me if the next purchase is on my site or any other site. What I really want is the customer to buy my products. If they buy it on an Amazon or a Blinkit or my website, I really don't, that is not an optimization that we try to do with the customer that, oh, go and buy it there, but next one come into my funnel, right? It's a headache that you just don't want to take on. India, it's very common customer behavior. I tell this to my team as well. Let's say you run an ad on, let's say, like a cred platform. The customer doesn't go on your website from there. The customer goes to Amazon to see how many reviews do you have, or they go to Flipkart to see how many reviews do you have. They try to build social trust on that brand and the product. This is a legitimate solution. and then they might buy it on Amazon or might come to your website, right? So you have to be live everywhere. You have to focus on every single channel. In the beginning, 50% focus on the website, 50 for everything else. But then in the second year of your journey, I would say it becomes 33% on the website, and 66% between, let's say, the major marketplaces, the Q-commerce, the smaller marketplaces. So yeah, I mean, that is what we have done. We don't really care about where the purchase happens. We would just want the customer to choose Bold Care over everything else. Yeah.
The whole startup ecosystem is into a funding winter since late 2022. So, what's your take on it? How brands can leverage it, and how what has changed from the funding peak that was in maybe 2021 and
Yeah, a
2022?
lot has changed. 2021 was a completely different environment compared to 22, 23. Now things are, in my opinion, the bottom is sort of done. Now it's, on the journey back up, nowhere close to 2020, 2021 days. But yeah, recovery, matlab, the next 6 months are going to be better than the prior 6 months. In terms of what, see, early stage, there is a lot of money. If folks who are listening to this are early stage D2C founders or generally, entrepreneurs, there is a lot of money at the seed angel stage, right? There are a lot of angels who have started really actively investing, especially after the last 2-3 years, all the changes that have happened in the ecosystem. There are a lot of sort of early angels, micro VC funds, who will sort of bet on you. Even for the later stage guys, the market is relatively open if you are let's say, a category leader. Yes, at that Series A, things have really slowed down. That middle stage of like 3 million to 6 million type range, things have really slowed down, but even that is recovering. What are investors looking for? Investors are looking for two things. If there is burn, show me proof of two things. Number one, continually improving metrics, that this is a trend line that will eventually flip over, and the reason why you are in burn, right? Okay, I'm growing at a very, very fast clip and I'm capturing the market and my metrics are improving week on week, month on month, then burn can be, justified. But if that is not the case, then the investors don't expect you to be burning money. They're expecting you to be at least breaking even. So yeah, I'll try to be in either of the two buckets. If not, see what is going wrong, talk to fellow founders who have done it, and maybe sort of calibrate. And yeah, and that's what I say. I mean, the last 6 months were definitely worse than the next. The next 6 months are going to be definitely better. So that's maybe the good news.
So also, what is one of the big learnings you have, like yourself faced, and you wanted to share with the emerging founders?
Yeah, my biggest learning is, most of the advice ignore करनी चाहिए life में, and मतलब that is honestly the main learning, right? A lot of it is just keeping one step after the other. You have to first go launch it. You will have lot of problems to solve, which will give you sleepless nights in the first 2 months. अब वो solve करोगे तो आपको अगले 3 महीने की problem दिख जाएगी. अब वो solve करोगे आपको अगले 6 महीने की problem दिख जाएगी. Suddenly you're at the end of a 12-month period and you're like, oh, I've built something. Now then you start thinking, okay, how do I not solve 2-month problems, but how do I solve 12-month problems? You start thinking longer term. Now that I am in the 4th year of building Bold Care, I am thinking, how do I solve the next 3 years problems, right? How do I think and sort of imagine Bold Care for the next 3 years now? So as you get into the journey, it becomes that much easier. At the same time, it becomes that much harder as well, but you become more comfortable being in the role that you are in. And yeah, what I would just suggest to founders is just, मतलब वो कर लो. If you do it, you sort of keep figuring it out as you go along. You don't have to overthink, not go into analysis paralysis right at the beginning of the journey. Yeah, maybe that helps.
All right, this would be my last question. Like, where do you see your brand Bold Care
We will
in
be the
next
number one.
5 to 10 years?
We will be the number one sexual brand in the country. Bar none, the number one. EDP, bar none, the number one brand in the country. And even in something as competitive as condoms and lubes, one of the top brands in the country, right? We are a new age player. It's very exciting. We see it in when we go to colleges where folks buy condoms, for example, lubes, for example. We are the cool brand that they go for. They're like, "Hey, Bold Care is the cool brand that we go for. This is the brand I want to go and try out," and that gives us the right to win this whole category now. So that is our ambition: be the number one brand in the space, in the sexual space, and that gives us the opportunity to, in the future, go into other problem statements. But till we fully solve this one problem statement, make a really good base for ourselves, this is our goal, right? To really sort of win this category. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All the best for your future endeavors.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Congratulations for winning the award.
Thank you.